If you've been laid off recently or you're worried about what's next, this training is for you. You're not alone. Layoffs can feel like your entire foundation just got pulled out from under you, but this is not the end. This is your moment to regroup, reposition, and rise. Welcome to today's live training after the layoff, how to bounce back and land your next job faster. I am so glad you're here. This training's for you. If you're overwhelmed about what to do next, you want to avoid spinning your wheels applying to hundreds of jobs, you're ready for a smarter, more strategic approach to landing your next opportunity. Layoffs are brutal. Even when you know it's not personal, it feels personal. 1 minute you've got a plan, the next you're asking, what now? I've been there. I've worked with hundreds of professionals through this exact moment and helped them come out stronger. Today, I'm going to show you what actually works without the burnout. I'm sharing strategies I've never actually taught publicly, only inside my private job search coaching program. The 3 biggest mistakes people make after a layoff. We're going to cover that today and how to avoid them, how to rebuild your confidence and take control of your job search, which is a huge component, the fastest way to get hired again without applying to hundreds of jobs. But before we dive in, I want you to tell me in the comments, whether you're watching this now live or on replay, what's the hardest part about job searching after a layoff? Is it motivation, confidence, or knowing where to start? You could call that clarity. Motivation, confidence, or clarity. Clarity is kind of an word right now, but you know what? It's kind of a cool word. Now, before you get tactical, I want to make sure you review any paperwork, the legal and financial stuff, give yourself at least a few days to process, and connect on LinkedIn with colleagues, managers, and clients as permitted. Once that's done, it's time to job search intentionally. Let's start now with the mistakes. The 3 biggest mistakes people make after a layoff. Mistake number 1, applying to every job you see, whether or not you're actually remotely qualified or overqualified or everything in between. Why does that backfire? Well, first of all, there's burnout. Rejection from generic applications that are not a good fit, that you're not a good fit for. That rejection usually leads to what I call molasses. And so we want to be applying to right-fitting jobs so that our rejection rate is lower. And then we've got less of that rejection molasses. And then, of course, the other reason applying to every job you see backfires, it's wasted energy. I'm all about efficient and effective. What to do instead? Targeted networking and strategic applications. Targeted networking, strategic applications. I didn't say random networking. I didn't say random applications, did I? I said targeted networking, strategic applications. The right mix depends on your seniority, your market, and your goals. In my job search coaching program, we review your applications weekly and we adjust the mix, sometimes adding more strategic networking to accelerate results. It's all about agile sprints. I'm a techie, come out of the tech world, 23 years in Silicon Valley, skilled, a fintech startup from employee 23 to employee 500, worked with 25 venture-backed tech startups to help them scale their businesses, 64% exit rate. So yeah, I know a thing or two about tech. And what we do in my job search program, which is so much about the human, but we do embed it with a little bit of process improvement, efficiency, and agile sprints. So, mistake number 2, waiting for the perfect job posting. Why does it backfire? Because most jobs are filled before, well, let me rephrase this. I'm changing mid-thing. The perfect job posting. First of all, you may not have runway to wait for Mr. Perfect. So we do need to think about what is the right next job that will pay the bills and not be soul crushing and move you towards where you want to be. So we want to know what your next job is. And then we want this next job to pay the bills, not be soul crushing, and move you towards the next job. Now, it is also true that most people get jobs through relationships. A common way to put that is that jobs are filled before they're ever posted. Really smart career recruiters would tell you that's mostly BS, and they're not really wrong. That being said, relationships do get you jobs. The other problem with the waiting for the perfect job posting is you stay stuck in planning mode instead of taking action. And a variant on this is thinking that you can only apply to jobs with an absolutely customized, perfect resume every time, so you can only get a couple of them done a week. And that is not going to get you a job anytime soon. So what do you do instead? We're going to update your LinkedIn. We're going to update your resume. I have an approach to this that makes it easy to do customization. I actually work with people to make that as efficient as possible. Learn how to talk about the results you've gotten so that it's so clear for the reader. And yes, humans are reading your resume. Humans. And they make mistakes and they have short attention spans, but they are humans. And we need to make sure it's easy for them to see what you have done so they can see, they can picture, they can visualize you doing that for their company. We also need to be really clear on your target companies. You need to have a target list, and you also need to know who can help you get inside. Inside my program, we use something called the Connect strategy. It targets people who aren't recruiters or hiring managers, so you're having real door opening conversations early. And the other thing it does is it makes it easy for the people in your network to help you instead of randomly just saying, I need a job. Well, yeah, so does everybody else. But it's not my job to find you a job. So make it easy for me to help you. That's part of Connect strategy. Now, the third mistake that I see, and I see less of this now, but keeping your job search a secret. You miss out on opportunities. You stay invisible when you need to be visible. It's fine to tell your network. Just know that telling your network that I'm exploring new opportunities, this kind of role, this kind of industry, this kind of tech, if you hear of anything, I'd love to connect. Their job isn't to find you a job. It's good for them to know what you're looking for in case they stumble on or hear of something. But know that that is about 1% of your job search strategy. Using the Connect strategy to talk to non-recruiter insiders at your target companies, that's a smart strategy. LinkedIn makes this easy. LinkedIn is a pictorial map of who you know, who the people you know, who the people you know. Once you know who to talk to, it shows you who in your network can introduce you. That's how LinkedIn makes this easy. I've been doing this on LinkedIn for 21 years. I'm a LinkedIn OG, and this is still the core beauty and magic that is LinkedIn. Make it easy for people to help you in ways that actually help, and LinkedIn is a huge part of that. Now, which of these three mistakes, the applying to all the jobs mistake, the waiting for the perfect job mistake, or the keeping your job search secret mistake, which one have you caught yourself making? Let me know which one hit home. Drop that in the comments now. Now, how do you take control? Or I like to say, how do you start taking charge and land your next job faster? First of all, let's get really clear on what you have to offer. Clarify your strengths and your ideal role. What problems do I solve best? What kind of environment helps me thrive? Make sure that you are clear on a career positioning statement. I'm a blank role with X years in Y industry, specializing in these strengths. I'm looking for opportunities in. It is really good to know that answer. Now, once again, to some degree, that's not going to get you much. But if that's all you're doing, but if you don't know what you are looking for, you're not going to be able to take proactive action to get it, and nobody's going to be able to help you. Next up, we do want to leverage your network. And we start with your in real life network, church, community, parenting groups. If you have children at home, they are the biggest network builders you will ever have. Make sure you're connected with the other parents on the baseball team, other parents on the baseball team, other parents at ballet class, other parents in marching band, all of those other parents. You want to be connected to them, not because they have your next job or work at your target companies, but because you don't know who they know. And that's why you want to connect with them on LinkedIn. So connect with them on LinkedIn, connect with your college friends, connect with your high school friends, connect with your peers from different jobs, the whole extended circle of your life. Connect on LinkedIn because you don't know who the people you know. And those people that they know could very likely be the person that opens the door to your next job. Now, there are LinkedIn groups in specific industries, and that's great, but I'd one up that and say, pay attention to people who have engaged audiences, who talk either in your industry space or on broader career topics that you're interested in. Process improvement, leadership, whatever it is, and engage with the other people, comment on those posts, and connect with the other people connecting and engaging with that content. Because the people who are engaging with people's content are the people who get LinkedIn. And you're getting LinkedIn because you're talking to me. And what that means is you can open doors for each other because you get this network. You understand the purpose of this network is you are joining a community that opens doors for each other. Okay. Now, part of that puzzle then in leveraging your network is knowing who you want to meet so you can use LinkedIn to find the people who can introduce you. Step 3, stay visible and position yourself. You can post insights or takeaways on LinkedIn. I say super important to connect with the commenters who are commenting on industry content, attending in-person events where decision makers are. I led a session on career long game planning for a professional organization in Nashville last night. That was fire. I interviewed 2 of the organizers about their careers. There was vulnerability, there was brilliance, there was thoughtfulness, and then what people did in that room and how they shared and showed up for each other was amazing. Do not miss out on those events. It can be game changing for your well-being and your career. And of course, there are online events as well, but the human connection, super powerful when you are in person. Now, which of these 3 things feels most doable for you this week? Networking, posting, or attending events? So let me rephrase that. The question is, which of these feels most doable for you this week? And what I want to know is it connecting with people, engaging with great content on LinkedIn, creating your own content, or attending in-person events? Now, if this training resonated with you, imagine what's possible when we go deeper. Inside my coaching program, I help professionals clarify their strengths, show up strategically, land roles faster without burning out. If you know somebody who's been laid off or is having worry mares, that's worry driven nightmares about pending layoffs, mention them in the comments so that they can grab a copy of this training because they need it. And if you want one-on-one support, DM me and let's talk. Let's stop spinning the wheels and start taking charge.